Mother tells me of a man Father met the night before last. He was in attendance at the masquerade ball, hosted beautifully by the Seagroves. Their home is something of a mystery to me. It is more grand than any other I have ever laid eyes upon. But in truth, it was not the house that had me mesmerized. As I danced with my friend Matthew, laughing and carrying on far more than Mother ever approves of, I saw her sitting alone in a corner, far removed from all the revelry. She seemed so removed from it all. Not to say that she thought herself better than the rest of us. I'm not really certain how to describe it. How to best capture the uniqueness that was her. I'm sorry to be a bother, but I wondered if you would mind terribly if I joined you beside the fire. I seem to have worn myself out carrying on. My what? Oh, no. He is not a suitor. That is my friend, Matthew. I've known him since before he could form a proper sentence. To be honest, he still struggles a bit to this day. And you? Have you come with anyone this evening? I had no idea you were related to the Seagrove family. How marvelous. Though you don't seem at all entranced by the goings-on. Not much of a masquerade ball enthusiast? Honestly, if it were not for the wishes of my mother, I'd likely be at home in my room, writing and enjoying the beauty of the moon on this clear night. I suppose we could venture outside for a moment, if you're allowed. I mean, not to imply I believe a woman needs permission to move about her own home, or one she's visiting. I apologize. I'm not certain as to why I find myself suddenly tongue-tied. According to my father, my mouth runs faster and farther than the Charles River. Not that I'd agree. I don't believe myself to verbally wander aimlessly. Though it may take me longer than others would like to arrive at my point, I'm doing it right now, aren't I? You're right. A bit of fresh air may be just what we both need to focus. I had no idea the Seagroves had such extensive gardens. I must say that for myself, I'm not really all that interested in plants, but trees, yes, that is precisely my feeling as well. Trees are so long-lasting and slow to develop that they hold so many stories and emotions. I often find myself sitting beneath them for hours on end, my eyes closed as I listen and rest my bare hands against the trunk or the exposed roots, waiting to see what great stories each tree has to share with me. You write as well? I don't think I've ever met another girl who fancies herself a writer. It is not something I speak of as often as I would like, for the sake of my mother, who finds the entire thing perplexing and dangerous, but I cannot seem to stop. When I tried to stop writing, the words still swirled around within me, as though a storm brewing and demanding its time in the center of my attention. Like a child longing to show off a new dance or passage learned in school. And who am I to deny such a joy? Why would I deny myself simple pleasures when there are people in my life, seemingly at every turn, already there to deny me? So you understand? My name is Lilybet, by the way. Well, in earnest, it was meant to be Elizabeth, but by my second birthday, I made it known I would no longer accept the longer form of my name, and it's been nothing but Lilybet ever since, much to my mother's great annoyance. And you? What shall I call you? Never have I heard a name so beautifully strung together. Josephine. The way it dances along, a mind of its own. Lilybet. I'm afraid I must be getting back. Seems my mother may have found someone for me to dance with after all. How lucky for me. Are you not coming? I cannot blame you. The moon has always left me feeling enchanted, as though being in its glow were a moment of magic. The moonlight truly does favor you. I apologize if I was too forward. Sometimes the images refuse to go unnamed, and those words slip all too deftly from my mouth. Lilybet. Coming, Mother. I really must be going, but I do hope to see you again soon. I don't rightly know what got into me that night. Something about the way the moonlight kissed her skin left me speechless. For a moment, I nearly forgot myself. I nearly let go of all conventions and burdensome expectations of mother and father and the life they've planned for me. A life I never once asked for. They knew their plans long before I ever spoke my first word, and as deeply as I long to be a good daughter, I cannot seem to escape the way her very existence tugs at my heart, as though she tied a rope around it, pulling me at every opportunity. There is a knowing in her eyes, and I simply must know more. I catch myself longing to dive into those eyes, left to sink into the depths of her soul. As hard as I try to ignore and dampen these feelings, they seem to be a part of me. A piece within myself I cannot change, no matter how it frightens me. I daren't speak a word of this to another living soul for fear of their response. I have visions of my family, of the entirety of this little town chasing me to the outskirts for fear of whatever has burrowed its way into my heart, catching, spreading. But I wonder if that would be such a terrible thing. Not the being chased out of the only home I have ever known, but rather others finding this feeling I now find myself lost in. Surely something so wonderful is meant to be shared. They simply have not allowed themselves the time to get accustomed to the feeling, to the notion of it all. As I write here at my desk, the lamplight and the moon my only company, I wonder what else these feelings will inspire. I have already felt the shifting of tides within my very being. Mother took note of the changes in me a few days ago. The moment she would catch me, lost in thought, smiling to myself at the very thought of her name. I want to let it dance across my lips for all of eternity, to find a home upon them, tucked away in secret where only she may find it. A lark rests outside my window, calling to me. Come forward, dance beneath the branches of the tree. Marvel in the splendor of love blossoming, but do not speak of it aloud, for such a fragile and newly awakened thing must be cradled, held closely without smothering, prepared at a moment's notice to set that cherished love free. Seated at the base, branches outstretched above and all around me, sitting where many a new love born. I long to whisper all my secrets, to confide the longings of my heart into the very trunk of my beloved old oak tree. But for now, all I can manage, my heart filled to bursting, her beauty crashing upon the shores of my all-too-cluttered mind. Josephine, my clarity, the one I long to hold as this oak tree cradles me. May your name dance upon my lips, evermore, ever yours, in this life and the next, forever your lily bed.